In this lesson, we'll provide a brief introduction to the Training Peaks daily workout and performance management metrics. To go more in depth with these metrics, you can check out one of our advanced power training courses or the Advanced Essentials course. The daily workout metrics are functional threshold, which we've already gone over, normalized power for workouts that are recorded with a power meter and abbreviated NP, and normalized graded pace, which is relevant for running workouts recorded with a GPS device, abbreviated NGP, intensity factor, or IF, and training stress score, or TSS. Normalized power and normalized graded pace are similar to average power and pace in that they represent an entire workout or portion of a workout, not the second-by-second data. They are first smoothed to reduce the effect of very short increases that don't have much of a physiological effect, and then higher intensities are weighted more heavily to better account for the effect of anaerobic energy systems. A simple way to think of it is, what would the average power have been if the effort were paced perfectly steadily? Normalized graded pace also adds an adjustment for uphills and downhills, so you can think of it as, what would the pace have been on a flat surface? Intensity factor is the workout's intensity as normalized power, normalized graded pace, or average heart rate compared to the athlete's threshold and expressed as a decimal or percent. Generally speaking, 50 to 60% of threshold or lower is a recovery workout, unless it's very long. Most endurance training falls in the range of 0.60 to 0.85. 0.85 to 1.0 is a hard workout or race, and anything over 1 is a high intensity, higher than threshold workout that is probably very short. Training stress score uses a combination of duration and intensity to determine the general training load of an individual workout. It allows you to compare the same workout between athletes of different abilities by normalizing the score so that 1 hour at threshold is 100 TSS. The specific structure and variability of a workout is important to understand, as well as that athlete's tolerance to training and their ability to recover. But a good guideline is that workouts that are under 100 TSS don't require any recovery, so the athlete would be ready for any workout the next day. And workouts over 100 may require 1 or more days of recovery. The best way to get a sense of the range of TSS values is to look at your own previously recorded workouts that you're familiar with and see what the resulting TSS value was. Now that we've gone over the daily workout metrics, we can move on to the performance management metrics, which use TSS to track training load and recovery over time. The performance management metrics are presented as today's values, like in the emblem here, or charted over time to see trends and progression, like in the performance management chart below. The calculations are a little more detailed, but generally speaking, fitness, or chronic training load, is the 6-week average of daily TSS. You can think of it as the training volume that the athlete is accustomed to. In this case, the athlete has been averaging 79 TSS per day. In reality, that probably means that they have some daily values much higher, maybe over 200, and some days that are much lower, or 0 on recovery days. Fatigue, or acute training load, is the daily average of TSS for the past 7 days, and represents the recent training volume. Comparing those two values to each other tells us if the athlete is currently training more or less than they are used to. Form, or training stress balance, is the difference between the previous day's fatigue and fitness and can be thought of as readiness for racing or hard training, or as their training state. If form is going up, the athlete is training less and recovering. If form is going down, they're training more in an attempt to overload and make progress. Now we can see how the daily workout and performance management metrics work together so that you can start using them in your planning and analysis. We start with normalized power, normalized graded pace, or average heart rate to give us a better idea of the physiological demands of a workout. And we already know something about the athlete's ability in the form of their functional threshold for each of those data types. Then we can compare the normalized intensity of a workout to the athlete's threshold to get the relative intensity of the workout, or intensity factor. But intensity is only one important factor in training. The other is duration. When we combine intensity with duration, we get training stress score. Measuring training stress score over the long term gives us fitness, and over the short term gives us fatigue. And finally, comparing fitness to fatigue gives us form, or the current training status of the athlete. Looking at all the metrics together in this way, we can see that TSS is in many ways the most important metric. The other daily metrics can be important on their own, but their main purpose is to lead us to TSS. And all of the long-term performance management metrics come from TSS. Knowing that, it's easy to see that the most important thing you can do to start utilizing training metrics in your coaching is to make sure that every workout has a TSS value assigned to it, both planned and completed. There are two easy ways to make sure that every workout has a TSS value assigned to it. For planned workouts, you can use the Structured Workout Builder, which will automatically calculate TSS for duration-based workouts. For planned workouts for which the workout builder isn't appropriate, and completed workouts that don't have a TSS for some reason, you can easily estimate it using the following guidelines. 0.75 TSS per minute for easy workouts, 1 TSS per minute for moderate workouts, and 1.5 TSS for hard workouts. You can also think of these as 45, 60, or 90 TSS per hour, respectively. Once you're in the habit of making sure every workout has a TSS value, you don't have to jump straight into adopting the metrics in your planning and analysis. You can ease into it by looking at your own previous workouts and trends, or those of athletes you have worked with for a while. Look for patterns in the data. What values are typically associated with certain workouts and races? Are there patterns in the data for when an athlete felt or performed great, or when they performed poorly and got sick? Don't worry about changing your planning and analysis approaches to fit the metrics. Focus on how they can augment what you already do and already know.